Today, I'm going to tell you about one of the most wait what experiments in history, the Guatemala syphilis experiments. The year is 1946, and honestly, you'd expect a story about scientific progress. But this is not that kind of story. Some scientists from the United States are trying to answer a simple question: how does syphilis spread? And instead of just studying it, they decide to run an experiment, but not a normal one. The location is Guatemala, and the subjects are soldiers, prisoners, and even patients. Now, here's the part where things get really disturbing. These people were deliberately infected with syphilis. Yes, you heard that right. They basically said, let's give them the disease and see what happens. You know how in games you choose hard mode? Well, this is like turning on no ethics mode. And it gets worse. Most of the subjects had no idea what was happening. Imagine going to a hospital thinking you'll get treated, and surprise, you're part of an experiment. The supposed goal was to test treatments, but here's the problem. Many of them were never properly treated. So the logic was basically, infect first, maybe treat later. At this point you have to ask, is this science or just a really bad prank? This experiment stayed hidden for decades until it was finally exposed in the 2000s, and when people found out, everyone had the same reaction. There's no way this actually happened.
Woo!
Right. But unfortunately, it did. Later on, the United States officially apologized, but of course, that doesn't undo what was done. Are you ready? Because now I'm about to show you a side of human psychology that makes you go, oh my god, are we really like this? The Milgram Experiment. In 1961, a psychologist named Stanley Milgram decided to test a simple but disturbing question: how far will people go when obeying authority? And somehow, this experiment involves electric shocks, which might sound interesting at first, but it really isn't. Participants are told that if the student gives a wrong answer, they have to deliver an electric shock, and most people assume the shocks aren't real, but everything feels real. The screams, the reactions, the tension, it's like something out of a horror movie. Now imagine this, you're sitting there, and behind you is a man in a white coat telling you, increase the voltage, and you hesitate, thinking, should I really do this? But he just stands there calmly, watching you, and at some point, you find yourself going all the way up to 450 volts. So how was this experiment actually done? Well, it was way more like a theater play than it looked. The participant is told, you're the teacher. In another room, there's supposedly a student. But here's the twist. That student is actually an actor. You ask questions, and for every wrong answer, you press a button to give an electric shock. It starts off small, 15, 30, 45 volts. Okay, this is easy, you think. But then, the voltage keeps going up. 120, 150, 300, and that's when you start hearing sounds from the other room. Ah, please stop. Now things get serious. You want to stop. But the guy in the white lab coat calmly tells you need to continue the experiment, and here's the most important part. He never actually says you have to, but the way he says it makes it feel like you can't stop. So technically, the choice is yours, but psychologically, not really. At the end of the experiment, the truth is revealed. No one was actually being shocked. All those screams, completely fake. But the real experiment was never about electricity. It was about how far you were willing to go. If you're ready, this one gets pretty dark. Imagine this. You're just living your normal life. You grab a drink, nothing unusual. But inside that drink, there's a substance that can completely alter your mind. And someone is watching you. This isn't a movie scene. This actually happened. MK Ultra. The year is the 1950s. The goal? Can the human mind be controlled? And what they did to find out is honestly insane. First, let's explain the key thing. What is LSD? LSD is a powerful hallucinogenic drug. It makes you see things that aren't real, as if they are. Colors shift, sounds feel strange. Your brain basically glitches. Now here's where it gets disturbing. This substance was often given to people without their knowledge. Yeah, someone just drinks their beverage, but it comes with a little surprise. So how did the experiment work? The idea was simple, but terrifying. First, they give the person LSD, then they observe their behavior. Do they lose control? Can they be manipulated? Will they follow commands? Basically, break the mind, then try to control it. But that's not all. Some people were also subjected to sleep deprivation, isolation for long periods, constant interrogation. They even tried hypnosis. They were literally trying to reprogram the human mind. And here's the craziest part. Some subjects didn't even know they were in an experiment, so you're just living your life while someone is secretly testing you. At that point, one question hits you. Am I actually free right now? Or is someone watching me? This project stayed secret for years. When it was finally exposed, everyone had the same reaction. No way, this is real. But it was. The result? The human mind is way more fragile than we think. And if someone tries to control it, it stops being science and turns into a full-on paranoia movie. Ready? This time it starts as let's do some roleplay, and then completely spirals out of control. Imagine this. They tell you, this is just an experiment. You'll play a small role. And you're like, sure, what could possibly go wrong? 3 days later, you turn into a mini dictator. This isn't a joke. This really happened. The Stanford prison experiment year, 1971. A group of university students is gathered, and something very simple is done. They're split into two groups. Half are guards, half are prisoners. But here's the detail. These are completely normal students. The guy who was in class yesterday is now a prison guard. So how does the experiment work? A fake prison is built in a university basement. The prisoners are locked inside, and the guards are told, maintain order. At first, everything is chill. It's even kind of funny. Bro, you're a guard now? But then, that role starts to get serious. The guards slowly become harsher, shouting punishments, small power plays. They get so deep into the role, it's like they're trying to win an Oscar. Meanwhile, the prisoners get stressed, lose morale, some even break down psychologically. And here's the craziest part, no one told them to be cruel, but just having power changes people. That's the point. Yesterday you were just a normal student. Today you've got authority, and your character just updated. The experiment was supposed to last 2 weeks, but things get so out of control it stopped after just 6 days. Yeah, planned for 14 days. Ended in 6 because it got that bad. Conclusion? Humans can change way faster than you think, especially when they're given power. At that point, it's not a game anymore. It's a full-on character test. If you enjoy my videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and show your support. It really helps me grow and keeps me motivated to create more content for you. I put a lot of time and effort into making each video better than the last, and your support truly means a lot. Every like, comment, and subscription makes a huge difference. Thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoy the journey with me. See you in the next video.